Hey everyone, I hope you're well. Today we're going to be talking about finishers because it's pretty well general knowledge at this point that each finisher has a different time to, finish. And I wanted to put them to the test, which is the legend that has the fastest default finisher in the game. I do not own all of the finishers and I tried to look at the stats online and unfortunately there just isn't enough accurate data to go off of, so I want to do the test myself, which means this is sort of like a test video, a test run. If this video gets enough love, then I will do a finisher video for every finisher, ranking every single one based on movements and how long it takes to complete. And yeah, hopefully that'll come, but like I say, I'm going to have to get a lot of crafting metals to get every single finisher in the game to record that video. So for now, let's look at the default finishers. Which legend has the fastest finisher, and does it really matter? So I calculated every single legend in the game. Yeah, sorry Rampart, you're not quite in the game yet, but we'll get to you in the future. And each legend had pretty similar time frames in terms of how long it took to complete the finisher. Now there was some variation, and it was enough of a variation that it's noticeable on a stat spreadsheet. So I started the timing from when the screen first goes white when you activate the finisher to when the screen goes white when the finisher is finished, and kind of counted the time in between those two sort of flash frames, and I used my editing software to get the exact timing for this. So we have a list of different scores for each of the legends, with Gibraltar being the fastest and Mirage right up alongside him. We have Watson's next, Pathfinder, Lifelines as well at 5.9 seconds. Octane has 5.18 seconds, Revenant 5.29, Caustic and Wraith have 5.30, Crypto 5.39, Loba 5.42 along with Bangalore, making them the slowest legend in terms of how long it takes to finish the finisher. I keep saying finisher and it's getting really confusing, but either way, that is an interesting amount of time. So the difference between the fastest default finisher and the slowest is 0.34 seconds, or about half a second. Now, that may not seem like much. I mean, what are you going to do in half a second, right? You can barely even click your fingers, or can you? Here's the thing, half a second is actually a lot longer than you think. Think about DPS in games. That's damage per second. So if an R99 can do a lot of damage in a second, then half a second is half of that. So how much damage could you actually do in this time frame between, say, Gibby's finisher and Loba's finisher? Would it be enough to down somebody, or would it not be? So we chose the R99 and the Wingman to test this with. And now what's interesting here is, obviously, if you shoot the person doing the finisher, it's just going to cancel the finisher, right? So the timing's not important there. But if you shoot that person's teammate, say, then you could potentially down them whilst the other person's doing the finisher. Imagine if you're in a tense situation and your teammate needs your help, but you're too busy trying to do your finisher to get shields back, and along comes someone else and shoots your teammate in the face, and you can't really help because you're too busy trying to humiliate some other fool you've knocked down. So how does it stack up? Well, it turns out half a second, or 0.34 seconds, is enough for 10 R99 bullets, or 110 body damage. If you use a Wingman, you can get out 2 Wingman shots, almost 3. And 2 Wingman shots is 180 damage to a headshot without a helmet, or 90 body damage. Now, when you can get a maximum of 100 shields back by doing a finisher, the value of health lost by this difference in the slowest finisher and the fastest finisher, at least in terms of the default finishers in the game, is actually quite significant. It's 100 health worth of time in game, and that's kind of crazy when you think you're only getting 100 health back when you complete the finisher. So it does matter. It does make a difference. The fastest finisher is actually worth considering. Now, is that going to matter in high competitive play? Is it so important that it's going to influence your legend choice? Well, no, not really, and ultimately in casual play and even in most ranked games, this isn't going to matter at all. But what if you're in a tournament where there's a lot of money on the line, or you're playing a game where you're so close to ranking up and everything matters? Something like this really could make or break your game in very specific circumstances. I'm sure you're not the only one that has done a finisher in a tense situation because you need health back and you don't have any and you need to go help your teammates who are in a fight. Now, this could help. So the next question is, who has the fastest pay-to-win finisher, and in other words, which pay-to-win finisher is the fastest for each legend. Unfortunately, I don't yet have every finisher in the game, but I did have enough crafting materials to get what is apparently the slowest finisher, according to the internet, and the fastest. So I'm going to test them myself so that it matches my previous tests, and then let's see what the time difference is then. We know it's about half a second for the Loba and the Gibraltar finisher. What about the more pay to win or perhaps pay to lose finishes in the game? How much will it matter then? Let's do some testing. So this is where we get into real crazy territory. So the Gibraltar finisher is 6:18 seconds and the Pathfinder ones is 4:36 seconds. The difference is almost 3 seconds, or perhaps closer to 2.5 seconds. That is a lot of time. 2.5 seconds. Now, if you can do 110 damage with an R99 in half a second, how much damage can you do in 2.5 seconds? Now, in the real world, DPS isn't the most important thing because you miss shots, but the R99 DPS is 205, and it takes 2.7 seconds between the time Pathfinder finishes his finisher and Gibby finishes his, which means you're going to be able to do, or at least shoot out, 553 damage. Now, of course, you have to reload, put that into consideration, and missed shots as well, but it doesn't really matter. The point here is this is quite a significant amount of damage, and actually, it's definitely made me want to know more about which legends could be even better or worse, and if finishes really are that pay to win. Now, I'm going to just, for the sake of this video, create a summary based on the default finishes, and if this video does well, then we'll compare every finisher in the game to see who's the best and who's the worst, considering things like potential animations as well, and not just the time it takes to finish them. I think we're going to do it when Season 6 launches, so we can throw Rampart into the mix too, and hopefully this video will get enough support so that, you know, I have a reason to invest a lot of crafting materials to get all of these finishes done. So in the meantime, leave your own thoughts below. How much do you think this half a second matters in real gameplay? Let me know, leave your feedback, and I'll see you all in the comments. Cheerio! Did you know I stream almost every day from 7 PM UK time or 11 AM Pacific Standard Time? You can catch me live right here on YouTube, so make sure you have notifications turned on. I also have a new members program. Become a member for $2.99 a month, get your comments highlighted in videos, get a cool badge in live stream chat, get access to these cute emotes, and also gain access to my members tips videos, where you can ask me for any tips, and I'll be making new videos weekly to help you improve your own game. Click the join button or click the link in the video description to get involved.